Hey guys, Mentwick here from Undisputed Misfits. I'm here today in the Guiding Lands to try showing you an awesome way to farm for fuel for the Steamworks in Celiana. I have farmed in the past sticking to one location, that being Coral Highlands, and I get to a point where it's just not enough because I get to these points where nothing is spawning and I'm just going around in circles waiting to see something. Well, if you do it this way that I'm going to show you, you then will be more productive and slightly less boring with no waiting involved. First off, I would like to share with you my setup for farming in the Guiding Lands and maybe some other possible tips as well. So, first thing on my list of recommendations is making use of the Sophie weapons. Picking a Sophie weapon and upgrading with the slot upgrade 4 makes it a highly useful tool for farming, giving you 2 level 4 slots to work with. I chose the sword and shield because it's one of the light weapons to help you run a little faster, and it also provides good defense for sticky situations. Now onto the armor. For farming, I highly recommend using the Guildwork armor set. It gives you so many good skills to help with farming, and with it being a rarity 12 set, you can actually get a good amount of defense from this armor as well. I have the beta headpiece that gives me level 2 botanist and honey hunter skill. Then I have the beta body that gives me cliffhanger. The alpha brace is giving me level 2 geologist and level 1 botanist. The beta waist giving me forager's luck. Then I have the beta feet armor giving me 2 levels of flinch free. Now this is an important piece in my opinion. I have the Gatherer's Charm giving me Master Gatherer and Carving Pro. Emphasis on Master Gatherer. And for the mantles, I chose the Assassin's Hood and Glider Mantle because both have the fastest recharge rate, and the Assassin's Hood makes running around the map faster, and the Glider Mantle, well, you just can't beat the slots that go with it as well. Another good choice that my buddy uses is the Ghillie Mantle. It takes longer to recharge, but with how long the Assassin's Mantle lasts, and if you have any levels of maintenance skill in your build, you can still use these two back to back as well. Still very effective. Now, moving on to the skills themselves, I have level 5 earplugs, so when large monsters do try to fight with me, I won't get stopped by their roars. Also, on a side note, this really comes in handy if you want to wall shot a monster once or twice before moving on to the next outcrop or area. Then I have Hunger Resistance 3 on here, because if anyone that's farmed before for a while should know that your stamina bar slowly gets smaller and smaller, and this skill, along with keeping up with your hot drinks, will keep your bar at max while you're farming. I will add that this skill does not work against the Tundra region. The Tundra region's cold effects will still affect your stamina bar if you don't keep up with your hot drinks, or don't have the warming jewel, or you can find a way to slot them into your build. Then I highly recommend adding those as well. I'm fine with just picking up the chill shrooms and hot peppers at the entrance of both regions with my auto crafting for those items on. Back to the skills, I have botanist level 3, maxis 4, and if you're looking to maximize collecting mushrooms, that's what level 4 does for you. Then I have geologist level 3, so I can gather the bone piles 2 extra times, and the level 3 is what lets me gather from mining outcrops a 4th time, which is an important one in this video. Very important. Also, as I'm sure most people know by now, you can also use geologist skill to pick up more material from monsters when they drop the materials. So when a monster drops material, you will be able to pick up 2 materials from 1 drop instead of the normal 1 material per drop. Next, I have the Intimidator level 3 on here to keep away most of the small monsters on the map. I've noticed in the Guiding Lands, it goes back and forth whether or not they have aggressive or passive small monsters or endemic life in the map. If you're able to get into the Guiding Lands with the passive types, this skill is not as important. I say passive, but in the forest region, they substitute Jagresses with those stupid freaking Gajalakas. But when running through that region, they haven't been a problem for me when mining the outcrops. Next on the skill list, I have Marathon Runner level 2. I do recommend having this skill to help you run from one area to the next, but I will admit, with all the frequent stops, it may not be needed necessarily, but I think it really helps. Then I have Constitution level 2 on the armor slots, and level 4 with the Assassin's Hood, and level 5 with the Glider Mantle. Because with the Glider Mantle having level 4 slots, I was able to slot in a level 4 Physique Jewel. And since the Assassin's Mantle does not have a level 4 slot, I can only get it up to level 4. Anyways, this mixed with the Marathon Runners is nice to have, but again, may not be necessary to have any more than level 2 or 3, or at all if it doesn't tickle your fancy in your builds. Yes, I said tickle your fancy. Anyways, moving on, we have Flinch Free, which may not be necessary either, but could come in handy if you're playing with others, and also believe it could help with any small attacks you may deal with while farming piles or outcrops. Which brings me to the next skill. I think it might mix well with. We have the Master Gatherer skill that I believe to be very important in making gathering materials so much easier and faster. This skill speeds up your ability to gather materials and makes gathering twice as fast than without it. A must-have in my opinion if you're farming. Then we have the Honey Hunter used to get 1 extra honey per gather. Not bad since honey is like your most important crafting material. And for those that are not already having your botanical research harvesting honey since day 1, this skill will be very useful for you. Then we have Carving Pro, which I think is another skill that might be able to mix with the Flinch Free skill, but not positive. Don't hold it against me if I'm wrong. But either way, still very handy to have. Now, you'll see I have Divine Blessing here, but it's really not relevant to the purpose of this video. So moving on, we have Cliffhanger, another skill useful for helping with your stamina depletion, specifically when you're climbing. And I know sometimes it can be very annoying when you're running to climb a wall or vines, and the time you get there, your stamina is halfway used up and can only speed climb a couple times before having to let off and let it recharge. Well, this helps lessen that annoyance. Now, finally, onto the last helpful farming skill we have is the Forager's Luck skill. I myself don't find this too important because the rare spots pertaining to piles and outcrops are not a big deal to me. If you do this farming the way I'm showing you, then you will see or find out what I mean. This skill, I assume, will help you find more of the large outcrops and piles you can find in each region containing the region-specific material you need for smithing. But you also have a rare chance to receive these materials in regular outcrops and piles, and as much as I have farmed, I have region specific materials for days. Region specific materials for days? Yes, region specific materials for days. Haha, inside joke there. Okay, for this next part, I would like to show you something useful. My buddy Potterhead, also with my partner with the Undisputed Misfits, came up with this very handy when farming using the canteen. If you use a voucher to guarantee your skill bonuses, I would recommend customizing your own platter for these 3 skills: Feline Harvester, Feline Cleats, and Feline Gardener. Feline Harvest helps reduce the time between gathering points, so they appear more frequently and possibly see more than usual spawning in one region at a time. Then you have Feline Cleats that help movement speed in special terrain like water and snow. It's very nice. Specifically in this video in the coral region. And lastly, we have Feline Gardener, which helps reduce time before certain endemic life reappear. If you're farming for endemic life, then this will definitely help you out. I believe this helps with seeing those slippery moles that you can run into while running around the map. I know I've seen them quite a few times from circling the map, gathering from outcrops and piles. So yeah, I believe this is a good choice of platter in the canteen to use for farming. Also, if you happen to see your daily skill come with micro or macrozoologist, and you are looking to complete gold crown, smallest and largest, micro being smallest, macro being largest, and endemic life, this skill will help you farm those. Also, just to be clear, none of this I'm showing you is me telling you that you have to do it this way. I'm only trying to share what I've learned and hopefully pass it on to someone else that doesn't know about this or didn't think of this. I'm only creating my videos to help others and hopefully entertain by showing everyone how we approach the game from our perspectives. I'm showing you what I think is a good way to do this, and hopefully someone can take what I've shown them and do it their own way. This game has so much content, and there are several ways to approach this game, and we are just sharing our experience from our perspective. If I am able to help one person out there with my videos, then I feel like I accomplished something. Sorry for the rant, just felt like I needed to let everyone know what we are about. So anyways, from here I just want to add this farming method is an awesome way to collect dragon vein coal chunks along with other dragon vein materials. Going a couple rounds doing this can get you roughly 20-25 dragon vein coal chunks, give or take RNG. If you just focus on the mining outcrops, you should be able to get quite a few rounds without ever needing to return materials back to camp. I paid attention to how long it took me to go around the second trip of this video, and you should be able to make one lap around in around or under 10 minutes. I did the math part of this in text later in the video on the second round. Keep an eye out for it. The numbers might surprise you. I came up with this after Capcom updated the Steamworks options to let you spend more fuel to get 10 items per reward. I didn't like how quickly I was running out of fuel, but I love the rewards, and also with the event going on, I really wanted to make sure I can do the daily reset at the Steamworks for the golden melding tickets. And also I really want to be able to collect as much melding tickets as I can before the event is over. I also really need armor spheres for a lot of my armor and to try preparing for the new armor coming out like 18 MEL and hopefully soon the Black Dragon Elatrion. Since I've recently seen there will be a delay on Elatrion, that is. And when Elatrion does come out, it will be my first Black Dragon in Monster Hunter. I've got Monster Hunter GU, I just haven't gotten that far into it. Been spending most of my time on World. So from here, I'm going to let my video continue and do 2 rounds of this farming. The first round showing you where the outcrops are, and the second round will be a quick run of me going through it without interruption. Video in the second round will be moving at a 1.5 times faster than normal to try making this video less boring. Ha ha.
I just wanna drink with this girl all day. I don't wanna think, I just want to play. Keep me underneath the sheets while we sleep all day. I just wanna feed everything I crave. I recall the first day that I met you. How could I forget you? No, I don't regret you. Hope I don't upset you. I miss laying in bed too. Your head up on my chest. You were never second best, boo. Sipping on some liquor, we remember all the good times. Live a little quicker, thinking bigger, wish we could climb. Look up in the mirror, seeing clear for our first time. Just a couple sinners, man, I wish I could reverse time. Yeah, we fake it till we make it, or we break it off and hate it. Getting faded, getting naked, every time I feel impatient. And sometimes I can't escape it, I just wanna feel you shaping. Like my dreams, I can't sit back, I have to chase them. She just wants to flirt, so I flirt right back. I just put in work, yeah, I work like that. Got me falling and it hurts, yeah, it hurts so bad. All in and it's worth everything I have. She just wants to flirt, so I flirt right back. I just put in work, yeah, I work like that. Got me falling and it hurts, yeah, it hurts so bad. All in and it's worth everything I have. She just wants to flirt, so I flirt right back. I just put in work, yeah, I work like that. Got me falling and it hurts, yeah, it hurts so bad. All in and it's worth everything I have. I can feel the butterflies multiply every time I meet your eyes. Amplify deep inside, once I feel your skin on mine. Though I try, I can't hide all the ways I feel inside. You're everything I want in life. She just wants to flirt, so I flirt right back. I just put in work, yeah, I work like that. Got me falling and it hurts, yeah, it hurts so bad. All in and it's worth everything I have. Got a body and Shinari, never want her off me. Hot like wasabi, hot like some coffee. We drink like a hobby, like to get sloppy. We ain't never stop, yeah. I just wanna drink with this girl all day. I don't wanna think, I just want to play. Keep me underneath the sheets while we sleep all day. I just wanna feed everything I crave. I recall the first day that I met you. How could I forget you? No, I don't regret you. Hope I don't upset you. I miss laying in bed too. Your head up on my chest. You were never second best, boo. Sipping on some liquor, we remember all the good times. Live a little quicker, thinking bigger, wish we could climb. Look up in the mirror, seeing clear for our first time. Just a couple sinners, man, I wish I could reverse time. Yeah, we fake it till we make it, or we break it off and hate it. Getting faded, getting naked, every time I feel impatient. And sometimes I can't escape it, I just wanna feel you shaping. Like my dreams, I can't sit back, I have to chase them. She just wants to flirt, so I flirt right back. I just put in work, yeah, I work like that. Got me falling and it hurts, yeah, it hurts so bad. All in and it's worth everything I have. She just wants to flirt, so I flirt right back. I just put in work, yeah, I work like that. Got me falling and it hurts, yeah, it hurts so bad. All in and it's worth everything I have. wants to flirt, so I flirt right back. I just put in work, yeah, I work like that. Got me falling and it hurts, yeah, it hurts so bad. All in and it's worth everything I have. I can feel the butterflies multiply every time I meet your eyes. Amplified deep inside, once I feel your skin on mine. Though I try, I can't hide all the ways I feel inside. You're everything I want in life. She just wants to flirt, so I flirt right back. I just put in work, yeah, I work like that. Got me falling and it hurts, yeah, it hurts so bad. All in and it's worth everything I have. Got a body and she naughty, never want her off me. Hot like wasabi, hot like some coffee. We drink like a hobby, like to get sloppy. We ain't never stop, yeah. I just wanna drink with this girl all day. I don't wanna think, I just want to play. Keep me underneath the sheets while we sleep all day. I just wanna feed everything I crave. I recall the first day that I met you. How could I forget you? No, I don't regret you. Hope I don't upset you. I miss laying in bed too. Your head up on my chest. You were never second best, boo. Sipping on some liquor, we remember all the good times. Live a little quicker, thinking bigger, wish we could climb. Look up in the mirror, seeing clear for our first time. Just a couple sinners, man, I wish I could reverse time. Yeah, we fake it till we make it, or we break it off and hate it. Getting faded, getting naked, every time I feel impatient. And sometimes I can't escape it, I just wanna feel you shaping. Like my dreams, I can't sit back, I have to chase them. She just wants to flirt, so I flirt right back. I just put in work, yeah, I work like that. Got me falling and it hurts, yeah, it hurts so bad. All in and it's worth everything I have. She just wants to flirt, so I flirt right back. I just put in work, yeah, I work like that. Got me falling and it hurts, yeah, it hurts so bad. All in and it's worth everything I have. She just wants to flirt, so I flirt right back. I just put in work, yeah, I work like that. Got me falling and it hurts, yeah, it hurts so bad. All in and it's worth everything I have. I can feel the butterflies multiply every time I meet your eyes. Amplified deep inside, once I feel your skin on mine. Though I try, I can't hide all the ways I feel inside. You're everything I want in life. She just wants to flirt, so I flirt right back. I just put in work, yeah, I work like that. Got me falling and it hurts, yeah, it hurts so bad. All in and it's worth everything I have. Got a body and she naughty, never want her off me. Hot like wasabi, hot like some coffee. We drink like a hobby, like to get sloppy. We ain't never stop, yeah. I just wanna drink with this girl all day. I don't wanna think, I just want to play. Keep me underneath the sheets while we sleep all day. I just wanna feed everything I crave. I recall the first day that I met you. How could I forget you? No, I don't regret you. Hope I don't upset you. I miss laying in bed too. Your head up on my chest. You were never second best, boo. Sipping on some liquor, we remember all the good times. Live a little quicker, thinking bigger, wish we could climb. Look up in the mirror, seeing clear for our first time. Just a couple sinners, man, I wish I could reverse time. Yeah, we fake it till we make it, or we break it off and hate it. Getting faded, getting naked, every time I feel impatient. And sometimes I can't escape it, I just wanna feel you shaping. Like my dreams, I can't sit back, I have to chase them. She just wants to flirt, so I flirt right back. I just put in work, yeah, I work like that. Got me falling and it hurts, yeah, it hurts so bad. All in and it's worth everything I have. She just wants to flirt, so I flirt right back. I just put in work, yeah, I work like that. Got me falling and it hurts, yeah, it hurts so bad. All in and it's worth everything I have. flirt, so I flirt right back. I just put in work, yeah, I work like that. Got me falling and it hurts, yeah, it hurts so bad. All in and it's worth everything I have. I can feel the butterflies multiply every time I meet your eyes. Amplified deep inside, once I feel your skin on mine. Though I try, I can't hide all the ways I feel inside. You're everything I want in life. She just wants to flirt, so I flirt right back. I just put in work, yeah, I work like that. Got me falling and it hurts, yeah, it hurts so bad. All in and it's worth everything I have. Got a body and she naughty, never want her off me. Hot like wasabi, hot like some coffee. We drink like a hobby, like to get sloppy. We ain't never stop, yeah. I just wanna drink with this girl all day. I don't wanna think, I just want to play. Keep me underneath the sheets while we sleep all day. I just wanna feed everything I crave. I recall the first day that I met you. How could I forget you? No, I don't regret you. Hope I don't upset you. I miss laying in bed too. Your head up on my chest, you were never second best, boo. Sipping on some liquor, we remember all the good times. Live a little quicker, thinking bigger, wish we could climb. Look up in the mirror, seeing clear for our first time. Just a couple sinners, man, I wish I could reverse time. Yeah, we fake it till we make it, or we break it off and hate it. Getting faded, getting naked, every time I feel impatient. And sometimes I can't escape it, I just wanna feel you shaping. Like my dreams, I can't sit back, I have to chase them. She just wants to flirt, so I flirt right back. I just put in work, yeah, I work like that. Got me falling and it hurts, yeah, it hurts so bad. All in and it's worth everything I have. She just wants to flirt, so I flirt right back. I just put in work, yeah, I work like that. Got me falling and it hurts, yeah, it hurts so bad. All in and it's worth everything I have. She just wants to flirt, so I flirt right back. I just put in work, yeah, I work like that. Got me falling and it hurts, yeah, it hurts so bad. All in and it's worth everything I have. I can feel the butterflies multiply every time I meet your eyes. Amplified deep inside, once I feel your skin on mine. Though I try, I can't hide all the ways I feel inside. You're everything I want in life. She just wants to flirt, so I flirt right back. I just put in work, yeah, I work like that. Got me falling and it hurts, yeah, it hurts so bad. All in and it's worth everything I have. Got a body and she naughty, never want her off me. Hot like wasabi, hot like some coffee. We drink like a hobby, like to get sloppy. We ain't never stop, yeah. I just wanna drink with this girl all day. I don't wanna think, I just want to play. Keep me underneath the sheets while we sleep all day. I just wanna feed everything I crave. I recall the first day that I met you. How could I forget you? No, I don't regret you. Hope I don't upset you. I miss laying in bed too. Your head up on my chest, you were never second best, boo. Sipping on some liquor, we remember all the good times. Live a little quicker, thinking bigger, wish we could climb. Look up in the mirror, seeing clear for our first time. Just a couple sinners, man, I wish I could reverse time. Yeah, we fake it till we make it, or we break it off and hate it. Getting faded, getting naked, every time I feel impatient. And sometimes I can't escape it, I just wanna feel you shaping. Like my dreams, I can't sit back, I have to chase them. She just wants to flirt, so I flirt right back. I just put in work, yeah, I work like that. Got me falling and it hurts, yeah, it hurts so bad. All in and it's worth everything I have. She just wants to flirt, so I flirt right back. I just put in work, yeah, I work like that. Got me falling and it hurts, yeah, it hurts so bad. All in and it's worth everything I have. wants to flirt, so I flirt right back. I just put in work, yeah, I work like that. Got me falling in. Turn myself into a pickle, Morty! Boom! Big reveal! I'm a pickle! What do you think about that? I turned myself into a pickle! A pickle! Pickle! Pickle Rick!
So, this method of farming is fairly easy and very rewarding. When you're making your rounds, you will notice that there are only 2 to 3 outcrops spawning in each area at a time. In this video, I am showing you where 4 are in each location that I run into during the route, and 5 outcrop locations in Wildspire Waste you can run into. I really appreciate all those who have taken the time to watch this, and hope you found this video helpful and educational. Again, this is Mitwick from Undisputed Misfits saying, that's it for now.